Hey everyone, got a long one for you today. This is a stream that we did with Myth, one of the game developers on Gloomhaven Digital. Took some time out of his evening to come on stream with me and talk about modding, because he also is an avid modder and is active in the Discord modding channels for the official Discord. And basically just agreed to come on and help teach me, a complete newbie, and also answer questions from chat and help chat out with anything that they might have, any questions about what could be possible with modding Gloomhaven Digital. And I think it's very useful for people to understand how this works. So check this video out if you're interested in this kind of thing, about maybe creating your own custom content for the game, your own scenarios, your own campaigns for your friends, all of that good stuff. We go into sort of how that kind of thing would be possible. Also, if you want to use any of the tools or any of the resources that we use during this video, I will link them down below, so check those links out if you are interested in finding them out. I do have some camera issues during this stream, so my camera is kind of a bit glitchy, and then I end up just getting rid of the camera after a while, so it's all fixed now, but unfortunately, just bear that in mind that there's some glitchy camera moments, but it doesn't affect the content on stream at all. Hopefully you enjoy it, and yeah, let's get in and let's learn how to create mods. What would be a good starting point is to to go over like what is actually possible,
right?
Because obviously a lot of people have got other things that they would like, so everyone, like Tim just asked, can we create new mercenaries? So I think it's good to sort of set some ground rules.
Sure. So in terms of new mercenaries, yes, you can create new mercenaries. You cannot put your own models and textures in, but you can use an existing model in the game. I'm not sure if this is in yet or not, but I know we were tinkering around with you being able to change a few settings on the models, so you could like tint them a different color, or I think you could make them like fatter or thinner, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's new mercenaries. You can put new enemies in as well, and it's very similar. You can kind of use models of other enemies in the game, and you can, with enemies and summons, you can actually interchangeably use the models. So we can make an enemy that uses like the Tinkerer's decoy model if we want to. The only reason that we can't currently use the kind of monster and summon models for characters is just because their characters require more components attached to them, and like I'm sure we could make it work, but there's definitely no time to do that right now.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, so we're sort of limited by like what we've had time to put in that way. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. So essentially, if it's in the game already in some way, or if it's like a hard limit to certain things that are sort of imposed in the game, then you can't add things that aren't in the game. So like,
yeah. So I mean, I guess I can explain kind of how the concepts of how it works. So the game, we have what we call the rule base, right? The scenario rule library, which is basically like the DLL, all of the C# code that kind of figures out all the game logic, right? Now you don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to worry about is the data, which that rule base interprets. So that data is in the form of .yml files, which is like a kind of a scripting parsing language. So we've written a whole bunch of parsers that have like a whole bunch of custom like properties, and then you can set those properties essentially, and then the game just like figures out what to do with it, right? And then there's also level data that you build in the level editor, which is different, but again, like the game, you don't worry about the game logic, you just worry about the data side.
Sure.
Essentially.
So you can put like an input in, but you can't tell
the game how to interpret that input. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we should be good then to create. I've got my window open. I'm gonna close my window a second. It's like a motorbike just drove past my
Yeah,
house really loud.
so for example, one of the things that people ask about a lot for modding is, can they mod the Frosthaven Advantage rules?
Right.
And the answer to that is no, because that is like a core rule of the game, you know? Like that's how the game logic interprets and knows what to do with attack modifier cards, right? Like we would have to write new code for that. You know, maybe one day, like, I don't know, maybe it will happen, or it's like an option or something, but I don't see it anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So any of those kind of core rules changes
Yeah.
that have been revised or whatever, or people's own house rules as well. You know, if people have their own house rules, if they are mechanics based, I guess, then it's difficult. If you're just changing values and things, that's absolutely fine. But if you're wanting to fundamentally change a mechanic, it's
I mean, it is possible for someone who is like a bit more tech savvy to kind of actually get into and change the game's DLL. I mean, I wouldn't actually know how to do that. I've never looked into it, but I know it's possible. So in theory, if there's like, you know, some really clever guys out there, they could make mods that do that, but it wouldn't be using the officially supported modding tools. It wouldn't be on the Steam workshop, you know, that would be kind of taking the modding to another level, you know?
Yeah, that would be, or like, instead of it being like I guess like a surface level mod that you kind of just bolt onto the game, it would be a fundamental change.
It would be, it's a bit more like hacking into the actual game code, you know, rather than like using the modding tools that we use. And also, yeah, the modding tools that exist are essentially the same as the dev tools that the designers use. So, like, all of the monsters in the game, all the characters, all their data is in YML files. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot that you can do with what's there now. I know just the other day there was someone in the modding channel on the official Discord who'd like combined a few properties together in an ability that, you know, we just hadn't thought about before, and like it actually didn't work. But you know, that just shows you that it is possible to combine these properties into new types of abilities, and hopefully most of them work, right? Because hopefully we've coded the rule base in such a way that it will handle it. But yeah, obviously there's going to be things that won't work just because we've not had to fix it because it's not needed by the actual core game.
Yeah, right. Like the same reason why I guess you could, in theory, try and program Chimeric Formula to be the original board game version if you really, really wanted to. But obviously, that's a lot of work, and to actually get it to reliably work how you want it to without it, you know, crashing or because of all of the different interactions is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, well that's good. I think like we got a good like understanding of like what, you know, I guess like me, because I'm this like I have no coding experience. So for me it's more interesting to learn about the things that we can change, you know, quickly and easily with, you know, being a bit of a newbie to this kind of stuff. And just being able to learn like how we can kind of change fundamental things, I guess, to just create our own content.
You don't need to be some like super whizzy coder to do this. You know, you just need to kind of look at the YAML files that are already there, look through this documentation, and hopefully you can find kind of the properties you need, and hopefully it's relatively well explained, and you can do what you want. This is not for coders, it's for designers. Like you are going to need a bit of kind of it's not like technical knowledge, it's just like knowledge of how the parsers for the game work, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And yeah, that modding documentation, I've just posted a link into the chat. Someone was asking. It's not finished yet. There's lots of it that's not done, or there might even be bits of it that we've done and are actually now out of date. But we have someone working on it now, so hopefully it'll be done at some point.
Just like the campaign, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
At some point.
Yeah.
TM.
Exactly. Okay, so shall we kind of like how do we start the process then? Like what tools do I need to get started?
So you've got the documentation webpage. That's great. I mentioned to you a text editor would be good. So something like Notepad++ or Sublime 3, just because when you're editing YAML files, it's line spacing dependent. So you need to make sure that like things are tabbed properly and stuff like that. So just using bog standard Notepad is not going to work out. It won't show you the tabs and spaces as easily, and then it won't pass, and you'll be like, why doesn't this work? So that. And now if you just load up the game.
Okay. Any particular version of the game?
I would probably say that if you're making a mod and you want the most people to use it, you want to just use the release branch. But I guess you can use the open beta. That's pretty close to the release branch.
Sure. Okay.
It's fine. And hopefully at this point in the development, I don't think many of the YAML parsers are going to be changing that much. So even if you make a mod, hopefully an update won't invalidate it at this point. It could still happen, but it's not going to be happening as much as it did, 6 months ago.
Sure. And I suppose we'll be getting to a point fairly soon where everybody's going to be merged to be on the same version, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's not long now.
This year,
TM, yeah. Hey, Saladon, good to see you, buddy. So, okay, I'll need to turn the music off. I just realized otherwise it'll be too much. So, is there like a particular file that we need to...
No, so once we get into the game, you'll just go to the modding menu, and it will allow you to create a new mod from there. And it will kind of set up a directory, and you can click a button and it will open that folder for you. And then you can start to create files from there.
Right, okay.
And you can upload it all to Steam once we're done.
And that's all automatic, like handled inside the game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, let me just take this down. As good as the music is, modding.
Okay, modding menu, and then I've got a little bit of a delay on what I'm watching. So if you go manage mods.
Okay. Create new mod.
Yep.
Ooh, choose mod type.
So what are we going to be doing first?
Well, I think it would be cool to work on like the difficulty. So in basically changing mods to stats, right? I think that's what we want to try and do is we want to create a couple of upper levels of enemy stats.
Okay, so I'll just explain what these mean to begin with.
Yeah.
So a campaign mod and a guildmaster mod, the files will only be loaded once you enter campaign mode or guildmaster mode. And then global mods, these files are loaded as soon as we start the game. So it's probably a good idea to just go with a global mod for this.
Yeah. So then it would apply to both game modes.
Yeah.
And so we'll just put I don't know. We'll just call it like tests extra levels or something for now.
Well,
right?
I'd give it a proper name because I'm
Oh.
not sure you can rename it later. So.
Oh, okay, right.
So if you do want to publish it.
Oh, maybe if it works. I don't know.
Well, we'll get something working for sure.
Extra and can you not have a space? No. How does that work? Extra enemy.
Interesting.
Enemy levels. We'll just call it like that.
Sure.
New levels of monsters above level 7.
So I assume how we're going to do this is so one of the things that is hard coded is the number of levels that monsters can have. So you can only have levels from 0 to 7, just like the board game.
Yeah.
So the way we're going to achieve this is actually by bringing level 2 down to level 0. So we should probably explain in the description that's how it's done. So
Okay.
It means you'll have a baseline of +2 difficulty at all times.
Okay, so like level 2 changed to level what? To level 0.
Yeah.
To create 2 additional levels
Yeah.
of difficulty. There you go. That sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we just hit create
Yeah,
mod.
Craig says we can change the description later, so
Cool. Okay.
if we need to, we'll do that.
Cam, thank you, Oxy.
You can put a custom image as well if you want to, but I think it'll be okay.
We won't for now. It'll be okay. That's fine. I guess we would click here. Create new mod. Yes, we did it. Right, done, finished.
Finished. Right, okay. So you'll see here, so you see the mods that you're subscribed to, the ones that I made, you don't have those extra buttons. So you've now got an edit button and a validate button. So if you click edit first, it's going to bring us up a folder, which is where all of our YAML files should go.
Okay, yeah.
So you can see we've got a folder for language updates. So that's if you wanted to, if for example you were creating like a whole overhaul of Guildmaster, if you were putting in your own quests and text and new scenarios, you would need an Excel sheet essentially to contain all your text in, and that would go in the language updates folder. It's also the folder that's used for the translation mods that are in Steam,
right,
as well.
So they're literally like replacing words, is what they're doing.
So yeah, with a language update mod, they're just adding another column for a different language. But if you were adding new text to the game for your mod, you would just have a new Excel sheet in there, and it just gets merged into the one that the game uses.
Right. Okay.
So you'd have your own. It's basically like a tag, like mandatory quest 1 name, and then you'd write the name, and then we refer to that elsewhere in a YAML file. But we're not going to do that today, probably.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So modded custom levels, that's where you want to put levels you've built in the level editor if you want to include those in your mod. And modded YAML is where we're going to be going today, because we're going to be doing some difficulty stuff and some monster changes.
Okay.
Right. If we go back to the game for a minute. Sorry, just there's a delay. And if you go back, and then export YAML. So what that's going to do is export. So if you copy the path now.
Oh, missed it.
You can just click it again and do it again, probably. Okay, so if you navigate to that place in, so keep this one.
Okay.
And yeah, just open a new Windows Explorer instance and go to the place that we just copied.
New window.
Yeah, if you right click in File Explorer there. Yeah.
What do you want to do? Go. So we've got.
Yeah, so go to that path. So what this has now done is so this. Oh, sorry, you went there with the other one too.
Sorry, I can just back up on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go. There we go.
Yeah. Cool. So that one is our mod, and this other one, the modding export, is the game. The actual YAML files that are in the game now. So you can go and have a look through those, and you can copy them, and you can change them if you need to. So, which did we want to do first?
Would you do the difficulty? Oh, you mean in terms of these files?
So did we wanted to try and change a monster to bring its levels down and add some new levels to it, right? Some new stats.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go into the global folder.
Yep.
And then go into don't see them there. You may need to go into Guildmaster folder instead. So if you back up one.
Monster data.
And now go to enemy.
Ooh. I see. Okay.
Right. So I guess pick a monster you want to do first and copy both the elite and normal file.
Let's do your friendly neighborhood bandit guard, huh?
Okay, so copy those, and you're going to go into our mod folder, into the modded YAML folder, and paste them there.
There we go.
And now you're going to open those up in Notepad++, and we're going to make some changes.
Nice. Okay.
I'm going to full screen this. Right, so you can see all of this stuff at the top is kind of defining what a bandit guard and a bandit guard elite are. And
Okay.
for example, so the loc key is the what I was saying before. There's a Google sheet that contains text for the game, so that loc key then refers to the actual name of a bandit guard, and it can be used for multiple different languages. The monster type is monster. I believe that can be things like a boss as well. You can change the standee limit there. So you can see most of these are very self-explanatory. It's just kind of changing the value. These ability cards, these are like monster ability card ID numbers, so you can change the cards that they have. That's better.
I've just zoomed in for everyone. Sorry, guys.
Awesome.
There you go. Maybe that's a bit better.
It's better for me too.
Everyone was just like squinting. There we go.
So if we want to bring our level 2 stats down to level 0, I would suggest we just completely delete level 0 and level 1 for now.
Okay.
So just highlight everything under level 1 and everything under level 0 and delete it. Cool.
Should we? Or we'll leave the should we leave the nameplates or not?
Yeah, you can. I was going to suggest getting rid of the nameplates, and then we'll just change
that to 0. I got you.
Yeah, and go down the list, and then we'll add the last ones at the end.
Perfect. So then what we want to do is we want to change this to 0 now.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be the new 0.
Yes.
This is going to be the new 1. This is going to be the new 2. 3. 4. 5. And so now we're going to create a new 6 and 7, basically.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Like it.
And, if we wanted to, we could change around a few things here as well. I'm just going to get the monster YAML up on my screen for reference.
Ooh, did I do it right? Maybe. Level 7. Okay. So these are the ones we're going to change.
Yeah, I would just get
Look at that. No, sorry. I'm just laughing at the freeze
can
frame. I mean, it's good for something, I guess. Every now and again, huh?
I'd get rid of those extra lines you've got in between the level 6 and 7. And I also can see that level 6 has a space in front of it as well. So
like this?
yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so I guess let's start with level 6.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how to balance Gloomhaven. So this is your part.
Yeah.
You're the expert here.
So, I mean, I was going to look. I mean, if you have a look, they don't actually gain that much health. 10, still 10, 11. The attack actually doesn't get very good. The target, I guess, the shields are going up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I suppose we could change this, right? As well, if we wanted to. We could change this to something else.
The condition, yeah. And
Yeah.
you can actually, that's a list. You see it's in the square parenthesis. So you can keep muddle and you could add something else too.
Ooh.
So you would just put a comma and then write the next one that you would do.
And does it actually like reference it or?
You're going to have to do it yourself. You'd need to know. But I mean, I think you know the different...
Yeah. Is it spelled with a Z or an S though, chat? I don't know.
It's a Z. It's a Z, which
Controversial.
I'm not a huge fan of.
Controversial decision.
Well, it's like when you're coding, color is the American spelling internally in C#.
Mm-hmm.
It's very annoying.
What? So, is it possible here as well? I don't think I want to do it for this. But can we add like an immunity line as well? Would that be possible?
Yes, you can. I believe it's just called immunities, you would write. And then you can put a list of various ability types and add an immunity.
Because
Let me just check. So this is, let's go have a look at the documentation because it's probably somewhere in there.
I want to zoom in a bit for this as well, chat, if everyone's struggling.
So on the left-hand side, you can see we've got YAML parsers section. And these are all hyperlinks, so you can click these. So if you scroll down a little bit and find enemy, is it enemy?
There's enemy there. There we go.
And then go to that. Right, so this is going to tell you all the different types of stuff you can do.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, okay, so that chunk modifier is to scale the thickness of the model. So if you did want to make them look different, make them look chunkier. And the same with the color, you can tint the color.
Thick with three C's. So what we want then is the...
So if we keep going down. Right, okay, this doesn't look like it's quite been finished to me. But I can tell you...
monster group.
Well, maybe it's in the monster data.
Monster data, here we go.
Maybe.
Oh, it doesn't say anything there.
Hang on.
But I
Anyway,
guess if we were to open up one of the guards, though, right, we'd be able to see, or one of the one of the bosses, because the bosses should have that written in.
yes, yeah, they should.
My camera's really just not playing ball anymore. I might
It's
just
just immunities, so you can just write immunities and then a colon, and then after that you would just write the types of abilities that they should be immune to, and that can be. It's not just conditions. You can make someone immune to any ability type that we have. So you can make someone immune to attacks if you want to.
immune to attacks. Wow. Okay. That's pretty crazy. I don't think we want to go that far.
No.
Not with bandit guards, at least. But I was thinking, give them something like muddle and immobilize.
Or you could, like, if you wanted to be really mean, you could make a enemy with a bunch of shield immune to direct damage abilities as well.
Ooh. That would be good. That would be very good. Maybe we could do something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think muddle, like being immune to like muddle and I think having muddle and immobilize, like immobilize is a really rough one to try and get away from them.
Yeah.
Stops you from being able to get away from their 15 initiative, which is just really horrible. And I think we can probably give them pretty much the same, I think. But again, it would be nice if we were to put, let's put in an immunity. So you think it's just immunity, right?
Yeah, it's immunities. IMMUNITIES. And then followed by a colon.
Tease. Okay.
And then it can be a list again, so put it in square brackets.
Sure. So if we were to say wound.
Yeah, if you want to make them immune to wounds, you can do that. It needs to be capitalized, I believe.
Okay. Nice.
You can make someone immune to instant kills if you wanted.
Oh, the instant kills. No, that's too. That might be a bit too rough. Immunity to wound. Yeah, I'm just playing around for now, Phantom. I think like something like this would be good. Or we did say like maybe immunity to stun, maybe.
Yeah.
We could do that. I mean, that makes it very hard.
Yeah, it's gonna walk up to you, immobilize you, and then you can't stun it.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna wreck a lot of things, I think. All right, but then so then we'll have to think about what we do with the actual elites as well. Then, so if we go to the this is the elite. Okay, no, this makes
this. The elite.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I was gonna say I was like maybe we've gone a bit too overkill already. No, this is good for the elite. I think this is good because you're not gonna have too many of these per room. You're only gonna have a couple, right? So
yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's go to the standard bandit guard then, and we're going to do pretty much exactly the same thing again. So we'll just delete that. And we'll change all of this. So I guess realistically we'd have to custom do this for every single monster in the game.
If you're talking like a full overhaul, because what we're doing right now is getting around the difficulty level or the monster level limit. Yeah, you would have to do it for every single one. But sure. I mean, even if, for example, we changed the backend code to allow you to have extra levels, you would still need to do this for every monster to add the extra levels in. So
right, because there'd be no reference point for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So for these guys,
what I'd suggest we maybe do today is maybe do like a few of the monsters, like from the beginning guildmaster levels. So like bandit guards and living corpses and living bones. And
Okay.
then we can, see this like actually in game, like relatively quickly. Um,
Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
the only issue I can see is that you're gonna need to like have a high level party to see these. But what we can do is like mod the starting treasure table, which is like the item, the thing that's given to you when you start the game, like
Hmm.
when you start your characters, your guildmaster save, they have like the scoundrel has leather armor. We can change that and just give ourselves a bunch of XP if we want to, just for testing purposes today.
So do you need to do a new save for every mod that you're playing, or is it possible, like for example, my modded save that I have at the moment with your mod, would that not work then? If we were
Yeah,
to...
you wouldn't be able to. So when basically you can combine multiple mods into what is known as a rule set, and then your save file is tied to your rule set. So, for example, the save file you're using now is tied to a rule set that you've created that has my mod enabled on it, right? But you can't. The problem is like, let's say you, because I mean this isn't always true. For example, I think the game would be able to handle you changing some monster stats around because it loads them when it loads the game. But if there's any data in your save file that is reliant on data from the mod, and it then can't find that data, so for example, certain IDs or something,
Mhm.
then it would all just break. So we don't allow that, basically. I think in general, like Guildmaster and all of the in-map stuff sort of handles it, just because we've had to make it handle it while we've been developing. Um, like, you can take out a quest and hopefully it will, be able to handle that situation. But there's all kinds of different cases, so we can't be sure.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to start a new save file.
These have got to be capitals, haven't they? Otherwise they don't work. Cool. Okay. So this should all be good then.
Yeah.
I guess I'll maybe change. I mean, their attack stays 4 for quite a while, right? 3, 3, 4, 4. So maybe give them an extra point of attack at level 7.
Yeah.
Make them a little bit more brutal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bear in mind that you would need to be playing on +4 to see these guys as well.
Right. For the...
Because you're by default you're playing on +2 now. So if you then play on insane and add another +2, yeah, that'd be the only way you'd see these guys, right?
Yeah, right from the get-go. But if we... I mean, in terms of starting difficulty, normal difficulty would be
+2.
now +2. So yeah, so we could make...
So if you had a full max level party of level 9s, then your party level would be 5. So you'd need the extra +2 to get these guys, the level 7s, right?
Right.
Is
Yeah.
that correct? So you're playing on +4 to see those guys.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So we'll need to combine it, I guess, with your mod, maybe? Would that work? To have that as an option?
Yeah, you could do that. They should work together in a rule set. But then then on normal mode, you'd be playing on +4, and then when you put it onto like the hardest difficulty, you'd be playing on like +6. So
Yeah, maybe too much.
I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah, true.
But then we wouldn't have to, like level up your characters straight away if you did want to see that.
Yeah. I mean, like in theory though, could we not also just go into the level editor and just like create a scenario with that level of enemy in it? Or does that load that information differently?
I think you can. You would need to set up the settings on the level so that it doesn't read like the party level in, and you'd need to like add your level to the mod in like Guildmaster somewhere to access it, which I suppose we could do as well.
Okay. All right.
I think the simplest thing is probably to just like either give ourselves a bunch of XP at the start or combine it with my mod in one rule set, and then you should be able to see everything quickly. It won't be very playable though.
Okay.
I don't think you'd last very long on +6. I'm afraid.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, let's do so let's do archers as well, because I guess they always appear.
Make sure to save those files as well that you've adjusted.
Nice. So we want to open this guy.
Yeah, make sure you're opening the ones in your mod and not the ones in the
so what would
exported.
happen if you'd accidentally did that?
Oh, nothing. It's just the exported folder you have is just like a reference folder. It's not changing the actual game files. But if you did go in and change the game files, the game would recognize that they've been changed and it would not be happy.
Oh, did you get is that the Gloomhaven anti-cheat? Is that going to kick in?
It's not so much anti-cheat. It's just it just knows it's been changed and like it's probably going to break, so it will stop.
Sure. Okay. Knows that something's not quite right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this guy. Chat, what do we think? Has anyone got any ideas for what we can give the extra levels of the archer? This would be level 6, and this would be level 7.
So we can do immunities. We can also change various stats based on like different kind of behaviors as well. So you can have stats that scale based on the number of players or stuff like that, similar to how a lot of bosses are in the campaign mode.
Inert Pierce would fit an archer. I like that. Some Pierce on these guys. I think the city guards have Pierce, don't they? They're slightly different. But yeah, we could add Pierce. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's add Pierce then.
So with Pierce, you would just write Pierce and then the amount of Pierce, the amount of shields it should pierce. So, you can even say Pierce all. So it will just completely pierce.
Ooh.
Sorry, you wouldn't put that in conditions. You would put it in its own line.
Okay. Would that be like
so Pierce : 2, just like the ones above it.
Oh, it's still listed as. Oh, I see what you mean. It's actually a stat.
A property, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've got you. Okay. So PS2 will definitely increase 13. Wow, that goes up quite a lot. Go 20 and 22. Give this a little bit more health. Why not?
Sure.
So that would be PS2. We'll just keep that attack 5, and then I think we'll make that like attack 6. And we'll put PS3. I mean, two gets the job done most of the time. So
Yeah,
let's do.
it's
Let's.
not often you have more than 2 shield, really.
Yeah, you'd have to have multiple items to do that, and then maybe something on the condition. We would have said maybe stun. We could put stun on these guys would be pretty brutal because they're hard to get to. Hmm. Can you make them? Oh, we could make them immune to muddle, maybe.
Yeah, you could.
I think that would be quite a good one because then they basically always just hit.
You can give them advantage as well if you
Ooh,
want.
how do
You
we?
can give them what night demons have, where if you attack them, you have disadvantage. You can do that too.
So how do we do the? They always have advantage.
So you would just type on its own line, you would do advantage and then followed by a colon and then true.
If you helps if you can spell it. Oh, got to do the capital M's again. No. Muddle. There you go.
Sure.
That's rough. Poison, PS2, immune to muddle, and always has advantage.
Yeah, that's well, you can do the balancing, not me.
Immunity to muddle and immobilize. Maybe not with permanent advantage. Well, I think the immunity to immobilize is just more. No, I like the fact that means that you can immobilize them and then go in, right? And they kind of don't get their advantage. I like the idea that there's a way that you can defeat these guys. You could immobilize them, run up to them, and then they wouldn't get advantage, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it would be a source of advantage and a source. Immune to disarm. Sure. Why not? We're going to go with the whole hog, right? We may as well go the whole hog.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if we're just like, just changing things around, then you can balance it later.
Balanced. Very balanced. Okay. So we'll need to do the same here with these guys. Because I guess what I would really like is the elites are almost like mini bosses, right? They're just kind of like have that feeling to them where they're and especially certain ones where you usually don't have that many, like Harrowers, they're kind of like a mini boss already. Because you don't usually have more than one or two in a room. It's quite rare. So let's make that level 6 and make that level 7. Unbalance it later. We'll see. Okay, so what do we give these guys? I think we just give them a little bit more health. Their range is already pretty ridiculous, so I don't really want them to have that. Maybe they just get Pierce at higher levels. Like the regular enemies I don't want to go too crazy with, because if you do, then I think it was a bit crazy. Oh, I need to change the batteries in my headset again. The good news is now that I've turned my camera off, though, I can't hear you, I'm afraid, at the moment. But the good news is that it seems to be charging my batteries now that I turned the camera off. Maybe the camera is the troublesome USB device.
Hello?
It was the camera all along. Hello? There you go, I'm back. Hello, I'm back. I think it might be in the camera all along. Because that charged my... now that I've turned it all off, it seems to be working okay.
Right.
More attack? Yeah, sure. Let's give him one more attack. There we go. Nice. Okay. So we save
That's
this.
guards and archers.
So you reckon living corpses? I think living corpses is quite a nice one to do because we could
Yeah,
get.
I know for sure that one of the first Guildmaster scenarios has living corpses in.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that
it's living corpses and living bones.
the very first one, and then there's one with
Yeah,
cultists as well. I think fairly early on as well.
yeah.
Then I think we've hit the big five or
And obviously,
six.
right now, what we're doing is changing like stats. If we wanted to, we could change the monsters' cards as well.
Yes, that was one thing that I think we I was quite interested on learning how to do as well. Is like, for example, adding like some kind of like rolling benefit or something. Like, would it be possible to add um like rolling modifiers in some way to the enemy deck, like in the way that blesses are added? So you have the bless, and bless adds a ×2 card into the whoever's deck it is.
Sure.
Is it possible to add a different card than a bless to a deck
That
through
is a good question.
that effect?
I think maybe that's possible, but you're gonna have to give me a minute to check. So I'm just gonna mute myself while I
Yeah, don't
hit
want
my
to
keyboard a lot, unless you want to. Actually, no. I'll just leave it on. It's fine.
I don't want to put you under pressure. I feel like, but we were
No,
talking
it's
about it the
okay.
other day on stream, and it sounded like actually that would be a really cool idea to maybe like have, so they could add, for example, like a +1 wound or something into their deck. So and you could have like a support style enemy that all of their abilities are just maybe adding cards to the deck and stuff like that. So you want to try and kill them quickly because they keep adding
Sure.
in these annoying cards.
I'm not sure if that's possible because I'm not sure that we've needed that till now.
Sure, yeah, there's no characters or enemies that add anything other than blesses.
Yeah, I'm just looking through all the possible ability types to see if I can spot it. I mean, in theory, it wouldn't take like too long for us to add something like that.
Mhm.
But um, you know, there's this campaign or something that people care about. I don't know.
What? No, that's very overstated, I think.
Yeah, I can't see anything for adding modifiers. You can shuffle the modifier deck off an ability, but nothing to add cards.
All right, well, we're definitely going to increase the movement on these guys. Oh, actually, we make them 2 and we make them um I want them to be so condition is what they do, right? I also want them to be immune to poison. I always thought it was
Yes.
very strange that they were not immune to poison.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is weird. That is really weird.
Like,
I also felt like living corpses should explode when they die as well. You
ooh,
know?
how could we add that? Is it possible or?
Um, I think I actually tested that and made that happen a long time ago when we first added the modding in, so it should be possible. Let me just have a look. So we have there's the what's it called? The living torch, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
That
and
one explodes when they die, and the living bomb too.
the cultists have that one card.
Yeah, the card is so it depends. Like, do you want to put it on a card like the cultists, or do you want it to be innate?
I would think it should be innate.
Yeah, that was my thinking too. So if you want it to be innate,
We haven't really made these guys too much harder right now, just the immunities. But if we make the blow up, then that makes them a little bit harder to deal with.
Yeah. Sorry, you're gonna have to bear with me
It's all
while
right.
I see if this is possible.
I will continue on. I need to do the elites as well.
Right, okay, so I don't know if it's possible to give it innately to a monster, but we can definitely put it on a card.
Is it so? Is there a way to give enemies new or different ability decks depending on their level?
No.
Or at least not easily, I guess. Would it be possible to add loot to bandit guards or archers? It would fit thematically. Yeah, I guess so.
You could give them a loot card, yeah, because the vermins already have that. But no, you can't change a monster's ability deck based on its level. What you can do is you can change various stats on a card based on its level, though.
Okay.
You can make enemies immune to attacks, period. I don't think there's a way of defining ranged or melee.
Is it possible to make enemies immune to ranged melee attacks?
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
was just answering.
Yeah, definitely.
You can make them immune to attacks, but not. As far as I'm aware, you can't define ranged or melee.
Okay. All attacks, all or nothing, basically.
Yeah. There might be a way of adding an active bonus that cares about that.
Turn. So we want these guys to have... They do jump out quite a lot, don't they? Let's go for like 29. We'll go for 35. Oof. Big jump up. But see, the move is pretty bad, but I think... Oh, I like the way if we were to put immobilize on these guys too. I like putting immobilize on some of these big... on some of these kind of like big slow enemies, because it just encourages you to have to run away from them.
Yeah.
But if you get hit by them, it's like, okay, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So I don't want to increase... I mean, maybe we couldn't... Well, increasing the movement to 3 would be pretty rough. I think we'll leave it at 2. But they have the immobilize, which makes them a lot harder, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think... Yeah, we made these guys a little bit quicker so they can get around. So now we want to just do... living bones, I guess. That's another good one to do.
Yes, yeah, because that first scenario definitely is just living bones and living corpses. So if we do those two, then we can.
Oh no, I've been opening them from here, I think. Uh-oh, I've made the cardinal mistake.
Well, you can just copy the one if you've saved and changed them there. Just copy them across. It'll be fine.
Yikes. Okay. That's okay. So I should really remember to do that then before.
Now you need your living bones normal and your living corpse.
Yeah, because I haven't done that one yet. Okay, so we've got the living corpse. So I need the living corpse elite. That's what I need. Okay. So that's fine. So now I just need to make sure that I don't make any changes to those, because they're not actually those ones. Okay. So if I go like this, maybe. Nice. Okay. So living bones. So hopefully that one is the, yeah, nice. Okay, so living bones.
Did your changes save for the living corpses?
Yeah, looks like it. Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry. Living corpse.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Okay, good. So living bones. Can we like? Yeah, I can. There you go. Get rid of the first 2 levels. This is going to be so difficult.
Sorry, what's going to be so difficult?
The scenarios with this mod, I think.
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
Like the potential,
sure.
the potential to just make it just horrendous, I think is going to be really cool. Because one thing I've always thought was, having a little bit more use for some of the corner case control methods, right? Because it's like immobilize is good, but it's only good against certain enemies, and trying to find like a good balance where you don't always just want to stun something. Like, you're gonna have to be crafty. You're gonna have to use every little tool at your disposal to try and deal with the enemies, rather than just it's okay, I'll just stun these 2 guys and we forget about it. So okay, let's start with the regular. So they are jumping up 10, 13. That's a big jump between 4 and 5 in health, right? Wow. Okay. And everything else stays pretty much the same. So I guess we would put that up to like 15. I like maybe changing this now to target 3. And then maybe making the level 7 something like 18. Target 3. And then giving them maybe not additional shield.
Do you want to give them additional targets? Because I always kind of understood the additional targets for the elites being because the elites have an extra arm, right?
Oh, thematically, right?
Thematically, I mean, it is your mod. Go ahead and do whatever you want. But I'm just
Immersion
that's
ruined.
how I always read it.
Immersion ruined. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, all right. I can believe that. So what can we change here instead then? Like, I guess we should really up the attack here. That should definitely go up.
So you can give them pierce. You can give them conditions. You can
so
give them immunity. You can give them more health. You've already done that though, haven't you? You can give them more movement. Is
it possible to add a heal to an attack?
Not easily.
Okay.
Not from here. No.
Oh, controversial. Craig says the normal guys have 3 arms as well.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Oh.
Well, I guess I'm wrong.
Invisibility? Give them invisibility.
No. I don't think you can just give them baseline stat invisibility, but you could put it on a card.
Sure. Just
you
always
can give them curse. You can make their attacks curse.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Always
actually.
a good one.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's put so conditions, I guess, right?
Yeah, conditions and then curse.
I think that's...
Well, if the normals have 3 arms, then you could do your target 3.
Let's make this one the target 3, and then we'll just add the curse condition to here.
For the right, yeah.
So then basically this has got more health, a little bit more attack, and target 3. Pretty rough. Invisible and randomly place the enemy on a hex in the room. That way you don't know where they are and can't do an area attack.
That's more some like I mean more things like that are possible using the level editor on like a per level basis. Like I guess the way to think of it right now is we're changing the like generic rules of the game. Like every scenario is gonna, all the living bones are gonna do this. But in the level editor, you can create a scenario modifier which makes it so every living bone starts invisible in that scenario.
Sure. Oh, I'll tell you what, actually, I think probably putting poison on this would actually be horrific as well. I might take that down to 2 targets as well. But adding poison is actually really bad because if we keep their dex the same, then they have lots of attacks that target one person. So they would do 2 attacks. So they would immediately get benefit from the poison, which would make them really rough. I like that. Nice. Okay. Living bones. I mean, I hate them as already. I hate them already. Okay. Elites.
Well, at least you're the creator of your own demise.
That's true. Basically, I just want to create this and watch other people cry, though. Not just me. This is to spread the same pain, you know? Everyone's got to suffer with this. Okay. Level 6.
Are people actually enjoying this stream? The Notepad++ stream?
I don't know.
Is there a specific Notepad++
category? I'm not sure.
Category on Twitch?
Well, I think it's useful either way, right? So
yeah,
I think like just doing a stream like this and just putting information like this out there is just gonna, hopefully, who knows, the next biggest, modder sees this or something, gets inspired and comes up with some crazy idea and creates something really awesome. So
I mean, hopefully it shows that you can at least do some like basic things like without too much like work, and it's not like it's this isn't really that hard. You're just kind of editing a few files that are pretty easy to read, like health and move and attack. These are all relatively obvious things if you know Gloomhaven.
Yeah. So it's the same. I mean, one of the great things and what Gloomhaven has already has for the tabletop is that kind of community content side of it. Which, there's a lot of community generated content, characters, items, scenarios, campaigns. There's loads of stuff that people have come up with, and I think it's really cool that we can bring some of that over to digital and still facilitate that freedom, because it's one of those things that you lose, right? When you play a board game, it's great because you can just change a number or whatever you want, and it's a physical thing that you own, so you can play with the pieces however you like. But when you're playing a video game, you have to follow the rules a lot more. So it's good that we have the option to do this, right? So
I mean, it will never have the same kind of freedom that homebrewing board game stuff has, but we can try and put options in there for people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a way that you're going to hopefully give life to the game for many years to come too, because if you have those options in and it takes off and people get really interested in doing custom campaigns or creating their own just to play with their friends or something like that, you really kind of keep the longevity of the game going.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons that I ended up becoming a games developer is because of the Age of Mythology custom level editor back in the day. So that was kind of my first little
foray into
yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of modding. I say it was very minor, like items and a few small things for Dungeon Siege
Oh yeah,
back
Dungeon
in the day.
Siege. I didn't realize that had a level editor.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good game.
and I used to just make fun new swords and stuff and just
And
combine
Neverwinter
stuff.
Nights had one too, right?
So Dungeon Siege, and then I used to make custom furniture for The Sims as well for a little while.
Yeah.
Like that was fun. Like when I was like much younger. I mean, I never really, I never really got into development after that, but I definitely dabbled a little bit in those things, and that was fun to just. I remember it took me about 5 hours to create a bookshelf in The Sims and then get the correct animation so they actually bent over to get the book at the right spot that I put it, because it's all just sprites, but it was just trying to get the animation to line up with the sprite of where it was always like the trick. So it's cool having something, definitely having something like this. I said, you just want to try and inspire somebody, and then they come up with some great idea, and who knows. I'm not sure what to add to these guys, because the other guys, they had so much. That was really good. So we're gonna put.
Yeah, I'll be quiet for a minute.
So what did we give them in the conditions? We gave them curse, and then curse and poison.
Curse and poison.
Well, we kind of got to give them the same things, haven't we? Really? I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think generally that's sort of the rule that's been followed.
You don't want it to be too confusing to players that every monster's doing something really unique, even though they're, the same family.
Yeah, I think when we're adding extra levels to what already exists, like we are now, we're kind of going for more of a Gloom-like feel, right? You want it to feel like it's still Gloomhaven and it's made by Isaac, but you could completely like change all the monsters. Like you could say no, living corpses are going to go really fast now, and they're just going to be a completely different archetype of character. Like you could do that if you wanted to.
Yes. Yeah. Just thinking like make them immune to maybe make this the top guy. I want to make a lot of people immune to things. Maybe not at the highest level. But I think maybe maybe not at level 6. I think maybe at the highest level that would be better. To make them immune to stun. Give them curse. I guess give them poison as well, because then it kind of matches. And we'll give them 5. I've always wondered why they have such high movement, though. Look at this movement. I'm gonna flatten off this movement because it's pretty brutal. I think. I've always thought that they've had too much movement. Sure. They shouldn't have as much movement as they do. Let's put that to 4. That's a 5. 6, 5, 6, 6. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Feels a little bit more fair. Okay. I think that's pretty good for these guys too.
Okay. So do you want to change around a few more monsters, or do you want to change some monster cards? Or
let's take a look.
Do you want to maybe load this into the game now and see if we can have a look?
Well, let's take a look at like a monster card for one of these guys or something, and then we can go. So let's take a look at, like we were saying about the explode on the living corpse. Let's see if we can.
So we can't make living corpses innately explode, but we can give them a card or change one of their cards. So every monster in the game currently has 8 cards. I don't think that is hard capped in the logic. So you could add like a 9th and 10th card or something. But that's up to you. It's up to you, really. Or we can just change an existing card.
I guess let's just change an existing card. I think keeping like the 8 is a good limit. I think that because players are hardwired to 8. So
Yes.
they if you want to card count a little bit, which I know a lot of people do to try and figure out what might be coming up, I think keeping it 8 is probably good.
Sure. Okay. So if we go to the modding export folder, we'll go find the Living Corpse cards.
Okay.
So if we go back up to Guildmaster, you may, I think you may need to go. Is it there an enemy card? Maybe.
Card? No, this looks like something else. Yeah, it looks like something else.
No, that's just the specific Guildmaster enemy cards. Okay, so go back up one again and go into Global instead of Guildmaster, and they're probably there.
Okay, yeah. Ability cards. Okay, that's for us.
Yeah, okay, maybe it's in shared instead.
Aha, enemy card. There we go. Got it.
Cool. Right. So I guess copy over the corpse cards, the living corpse cards.
And this can all go in the same folder that was...
Yeah, it's probably... the folder structure that we use for our mod doesn't really matter, but it might be nice for us to like make a little subfolder for cards and put them in there.
Okay, so we just put cards for now.
And you could put a subfolder for like enemies as well and put the ones that we've done in their own little subfolder.
Okay, and the game will just read that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's... I guess we'll close some of these now because we finished this now. Just so we don't get confused with what we're looking at. So we'll close those. And then we'll open all of these up.
So I would maybe suggest we go and find the cultist card where they do an on-death attack, just for referencing. So whenever you're doing... Because the ability cards are... I mean, the monster ones are probably a bit more simple. And this is not particularly well documented, unfortunately, but there's less options for what you can do with monster abilities, just because, like, I don't know, there's certain abilities that maybe don't make sense for a monster to have, or like we've just not needed to have monsters do them, so we've not coded it in such a way that it handles AI. But
I found it. First card.
But in general, I would say the ability card YAML is the most complicated one, for sure. There's like a lot of different options. And I imagine it's still being documented. I'm not sure. So the best way to go about with ability cards, if you want to mod them, is to kind of think about what already exists in the game that is similar to what you're trying to do, and like go find it and reference it, and then maybe make some changes and test it. So here, for example, you can see that the cultist, when it draws this card, it doesn't move, then it does an attack, and then it stacks an on-death ability, which is an attack. And some of these things, so target -1, what that means is it targets everything in range of it.
Okay.
Target is base. This is specifically used for monsters, which means it uses its base stat target value. Or rather, sorry, it uses the target value in this ability, and it doesn't change it based on like the monster's base stats.
So if we were to give them a ranged attack or something like that, like as their innate stats, this card overwrites what's printed on the stat card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's saying the number of targets is overridden. We ignore our number of targets on our character stat card, and this should target just everything.
Okay.
Yeah, the anim overload is the animation you want it to do. when it does it. And the on death true is specifically because we want this to happen on death.
Okay.
And not right away. So I assume we just kind of want living corpses to essentially do the same thing, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you can just copy that whole bit and you can find an appropriate living corpse card.
And stick it on there.
Yeah, probably like Craig's just said in the chat, the ones where they hurt themselves would be a good one, probably.
Okay.
I reckon. Because they don't really do much then. So maybe it would be nice to make it so if you kill them that turn, or if they kill themselves even, they then do this, they explode.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that's
actually.
one of them you've found, and I think there's probably another card that does that too.
Damage self 91. I think you want to do it on a you want to do it on one of the earlier initiatives, don't you, really? Because
I mean, you could change the initiatives of those cards as well.
so this one like on 32, but the fact that they are not, so you could move away from them. Yeah, I like the ones where they could maybe... Yeah, so maybe we could change this, not to like something drastically different, I think. But we could make this more something like a 20... Put it on like something like 23.
Sure.
And then we're just gonna... Boom.
One thing to note about these enemy cards, just quickly, is that you notice they've all got an ID. Every monster card needs to have its own unique ID. So if you're adding new cards, you need to make sure you have a unique ID. Probably the easiest thing to do is say like 1001, because then you're way out of the range of existing IDs. So yeah, that's just something to remember if you're adding new abilities.
What would happen if you did? Would it overwrite what's already there, or would it be just would there be a conflict or something? So
so if we had two cards with the same ID, I'm not sure. It's possible that like the parser will notice that there's two with the same ID and go, this YAML is invalid. We can't, this mod won't work, or it might be that it only passes one of them. So then your mod only has, it would be missing an ability. I think it's probably validates it and make sure there's quite a lot of validation.
Okay, cool. So is this, how about the line structure for this? Is this...
Right, so you see we've got on death attack 1, you'll need to tab that back. So shift tab.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so each of these, you see we've got attack 1, damage 1, on death attack 1. These are separate abilities, and these are just what we're internally naming them. So on death attack 1, that's the name for the ability. Then the actual ability itself is, and what it does is defined inside of that. So attack 2, that sets this ability to be an ability of type attack with a strength of 2. Target -1, as I said before, means it targets everything that's in range. You can specify a range if you want to. Right now we're not, so the range would be 1, or I think in fact the range would be, it would use the stat value of the living corpse, which would be 1.
Right.
In this case.
Okay. Is the ordering of this important, right? Because we've got this below the damage 1 self, right? So
yes, so that means it will happen after the damage 1 self.
Okay, so we do need to actually move this above this.
Yeah, yeah. If you want that to happen and then it killing itself to trigger it, then yeah, you need it to happen before. Sure. So the anim overload, death explode, it's not going to find that animation on a living corpse. So basically, each model in the game has like its own animator controller, and that has various states on it that are all named. Generally, we've tried to keep these things generic. So, like, every monster has like an attack state and a move state and a power up state, right? But for things like the cultist's death explode, that's a unique one. But if we look at one of the other living corpse cards, the corpse definitely has its own unique animation. So we can probably just use that instead. I think it's the one where they like kind of vomit everywhere.
Oh, there you go. Radial burp.
Yeah, so if we just use radial burp instead, that will be fine.
I love a radial burp. Where have I done it? Here. Radial burp. Nice. Hit save. Cool, okay. So, if in theory then I was to change these attack values, will that actually work, or is it referencing like this particular...
So sorry, you want to change the
So,
damage?
yeah, so if you were to change the kind of death value.
That on death attack, yeah, you can change that value. Because we've not set strength is base to be true, it will be modified by the attack of the living corpse base stats. So it will be attack 2 and then plus or minus whatever the living corpse does. Alternatively, you can write strength is base true, and then it will just be whatever is on the card.
Oh, also, we've got to put this in, right? Will it work?
Yeah, you can add conditions to
Oh,
that, yeah.
yes. Oops. What am I doing? Nightmare. Right. Hang on. There we go.
But I think, didn't you add conditions to the base stat of the living corpse anyway? You added poison to it, right?
I did, but only to the higher levels, right? This way...
Right, okay, so this would make all the levels do that on this attack, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you want the base damage of this card to be higher than 2, higher than an attack 2, you can do that. And then it will be modified by the living corpses.
Well, it's already going to be something crazy, though, right? Because if their attacks are going to be 5 or 6.
Can't remember what.
Yeah, 5 or 6 plus 2. That's going to be...
Yeah, it's probably going to be high.
It's probably pretty brutal.
Yeah. It doesn't... You could also make this so it doesn't necessarily target everything around it. You can just change it to like target 1, and it will just pick one guy next to it when it dies, or even 2, whatever you want.
I might like reduce this to 1, actually. It's a pretty harsh thinking about it.
Sure.
Where if I was to reduce it to 0, it will just be whatever their attack is, right?
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Is there a way
you can even put it -1 and then...
Yeah, actually, let's do something like it feels a bit harsh. I'm starting to think that I could just see a horrible situation when you can't get out of it and you just immediately die. So -1 means that even at low levels, you're going to be attacked for like maybe 3 and poison. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But not so bad that you can't overcome it.
Sure. Okay. Did we want to adjust another ability card, or do we want to see if we can try and get this loaded up in game and give it a go?
Let's see if we can get it loaded up.
Okay. So make sure we save everything.
Right, we don't.
I think you can do like file save all, probably.
File save.
And now if we go back to Gloomhaven.
Doesn't like doing that.
If savable's grayed out, it's probably because everything's saved already. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's all good. Okay. Right, so we can go back to Gloomhaven now.
Yeah. Go to manage mods. And then validate. You need to validate the code that we've just written, or the YAML we've just written.
Uh-oh. What did I do wrong? View errors.
Click on view errors. Cool. Let's find out. Now we get to do debugging. So what does it say? Failed to pass file. Unable to find monster card with ID 532. Interesting. Five three two, 524, and 516. Right. Okay. So go to our modded files real quick.
Yep. Cards. It was it's the actual.
So let's start. It didn't like the Bandit Archer one to start with. So let's open that one up and see if we can figure it out. Did you accidentally add an extra space before the list of ability cards? Because it's talking about the ability cards. It can't find 532.
The list of ability cards. Oh, I see what you mean here. Or
It doesn't. I don't think you have. Just at the beginning there. That's just one space, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. It might just be that we need to include those cards in our mod.
I think I might have some white space lines above the level 0.
No, it's not that. It doesn't matter. That extra line's fine. It'll ignore it.
See you, Mineral. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. We probably won't be doing another stream exactly like this, but I'm recording all of this, and so I'll put it up on YouTube for sure.
So yeah, this might be one that we need to look into internally. But I think what you should try and do is try and add all of the ability cards for the monsters that you changed into our mod.
Okay, so we need to find all of these ones.
So we need all the archer cards, and we need.
In theory, I could just copy all of these, right? Apart from the living corpses, then, and just paste them straight across.
Yeah, but let's just get the ones that we need.
Sure.
Because then less problems potentially.
So we've done. So we need the living bones. We need, I guess, all of the guards because they're bandit guards.
Yeah.
As well as all the archers. So archers.
And that's all we've changed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go back to Gloomhaven and try and revalidate and see what it tells us.
Oh,
does it work?
It worked.
Okay, cool. I'm like a couple seconds behind, so
mystery solved.
Just watching on the stream. Okay, so that's a little bit weird and maybe something we need to look into. I'm not sure why it doesn't just find the base cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now if you go back and we go to rule sets, what we're going to do is make a new rule set including our mod. So if you create a new rule set, Guildmaster rule set. Give it a name. And did you want so now you choose which mods you want in the rule set. So obviously your one, and then you could also add my one, which would mean that you're playing on like ridiculous levels of difficulty.
Well, I guess if we want to try and just see if it works, right? So is that we'll probably need your mod in order to do that.
Yeah, or we can go back and add something to your mod just to like give all of our characters a bunch of XP and level them up.
Sure.
It's up to you.
Let's add yours and just give it a go.
Okay.
We can always add that in if we need to. I mean,
Sure.
it'd be interesting to see how you add like stuff like that too. That would be interesting to see.
Yeah. So if you now if you click on that rule set and make like a new compile, yeah. Hopefully these both play nicely together. I can't see them not. But...
Okay, go and play.
Yeah.
Browser asks only configs are allowed at the moment.
I'm not entirely sure what the question is.
I guess he means like we were discussing earlier about, you know, full mods of like the game systems. It could be done, but the mod tools currently available do not facilitate that. So you would you kind of be doing your own thing. Like it's possible.
Yeah, like if you wanted to like hack into the DLL and actually write your own code, like if you're clever enough, I'm sure you can do that. But there's not like officially supported modding tools for that. But I mean, the editing YAML and using the level editor should give you, like, it should take you pretty far, I think, at this point. So if you go on Insane, so you'll be on, Insane is +4, and your mod makes all the monsters +2 by default, so you'll be on +6. So we'll be able to see your crazy high-level monsters if you put it on Insane.
Ooh.
You'll get absolutely destroyed, but we can check it works.
That's all we're here for. We just want to make sure it works. And if it does, then that kind of opens up the possibilities. Right. Well, there we go. Who do you want to go see first? Let's go see our friends, the Hollow Men, shall we?
Yeah. So if you click on the Hollow Men quest and then mouse over the enemies before you like travel.
It's showing level 5, which would be
level 7 technically.
Yes.
That would be the old level 7, wouldn't it? So we're not seeing any of our new levels.
No. We need to...
yeah, so we are going to have to like go back and add... Yeah, we're just going to have to find a way to level up faster.
Okay. We only need to get ourselves up 2 levels on each character, right? It's
you have access to the campaign beta build, don't you?
I do.
It's probably quicker if you just swap to that and just use the debug menu to like level up.
Can't show that on stream, surely.
Well,
maybe not.
I don't mind you showing it on stream. I don't mind you showing it. It's not like anyone can access it. It's fine. You've already shown the actual campaign on stream, so
that's true. Okay, so we want to open up that branch.
Yeah. Swapping branch is probably quicker.
Is that actually going to like, is it still going to be compatible, or?
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, Campat just said you could just adjust level 1 monsters for now instead of level 7 ones. We could do that.
Okay,
we could. That like if you don't have access to the debug menu, then that's probably the way to do it. But we do, so.
That is a good point. Like not being able to jump in with all of your high level mercenaries to test it right away. I mean, we would we would still obviously get to benefit from having the increased difficulty because we're already, we've already shifted level everything down, right? So
yeah,
it's already 2 levels higher than you'd expect, which is pretty insane to think about because the hardest the game is at that level. Which is why I think ultimately what we're trying to aim for here is a complete rework.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily just want to add 2 levels because it could be very difficult for early game characters to even complete one single scenario at level 1 with that. I think you want to make it so it's just offers a bit of a different challenge. That's all. And then you can make the top ends, I guess, crazy for fun.
Yeah.
You could just make it even so it's like a bit more, because you don't actually ever get to +7, right? Unless you choose the +2. So
yes,
in terms of like normal game balancing, you could just have, well, if you want to play the game normally, play on normal, and then if you want to kind of go to insane mode where the enemies are just ridiculous, you could just increase the stats heavily at those 2 levels, at level 6 and level 7, because that is a conscious decision by players to kind of play.
Well, I think
above.
Isaac kind of did do that in a lot of, like, you see that the jump up to level 6 monsters does tend to add some extra stuff. So I think he already kind of does that. It's just we want to be able to go to a level of difficulty beyond just +2 when we have a full level 9 party.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Because right now it's like you cap out your party and it's like, well, I'm sure it's more than difficult enough for a lot of people, but if you're the gripeaways of this world, then it's not good enough for you.
Or me, of course. What?
Who's better, do you think, you or Gripeaway?
Oh, Gripe's way better than me. There's no question. I don't doubt that for a second.
Okay.
I mean, there's a reason why he's a tester though, and I'm not, right? No, but he's probably technically the best player of the game. I think. Like he just understands that everything, like the intricacies of everything, and he barely misses anything. Like he very rarely misses stuff. I mean, he does still miss stuff occasionally, which is always funny when he does. Like he is mortal, but he generally tends to not make mistakes. Lol, shade. Throwing shade on my own stream, guys. On my own stream.
Shading you.
Jesus.
I was just I didn't want to give you too much of an ego.
Yeah, sure.
I thought, I'll just reference some other guy that everyone knows plays on high difficulty.
Why is this not upgraded? Come on, give me.
I'll just give it a minute. It'll be fine. You could try close Steam and reopen it. Sometimes that sorts it out.
Yeah, so I think what we would try and do is maybe leave these stats a little bit more regular, and actually you could just increase 6 and 7 and make them really difficult. So then it's a conscious decision. Maybe more players would be, you could kind of leave the mod in the background for the most part and not feel like you're just having a really, really hard time. And then when you feel like, I want to give it a go, you can upgrade it.
Yeah, I mean, it's already going to be like you're already playing on +2, right? With your mod enabled.
Yeah.
So at all times, in comparison to like the normal game. So that's already pretty damn hard.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I am a fish, not a fish. Come on. Give me the good stuff. So we could have just updated the files.
Yeah, I kind of thought this might be faster, but I guess not.
Got to go to entertain the kiddos. You have to come back and see how our nightmare scenario turns out to be. See you, Frodo. We'll see. We'll see. Just strictly for testing purposes now, by the way. So don't expect me to win, because it's definitely unbalanced. But that's okay, because the players are pretty unbalanced. So it's time to give the enemies a bit of a power up. Let them fight back a little bit. Give them innate stun.
Yeah, I saw someone asking earlier if we could make monsters use items. I think that was in your Discord.
Okay.
In the channel. No, we can't do that. Definitely not. That is very much out of the scope.
Well, I mean, what kind of
possible?
What kind of items would they want them to use? Like,
he says monsters use items like the falcon. Then when you kill the monster, you can loot the item in addition to the coins.
ooh.
I mean, it's a fun idea, but no, that's not possible.
Well, I guess you could have. Well, you could have steal the cultist summon card, right?
Yeah.
And then reprogram that to summon a falcon instead of a living bones.
You can make guys summon falcons for sure.
Yeah.
No, you can't change loot drops of monsters. They will always drop a gold token. But you can, change what is in chests, for example.
Because I assume that just looks up on a table, so you could just change the table.
Yeah, that is called a treasure table.
Mm.
The YAML file for that. So yeah.
It's taking a long time to patch this up.
Yeah, maybe. Thing is, though, now you're halfway through a patch, so even if we change back, it would probably have to patch again.
Maybe like this Craig broken my version. He's revoked it. It's possible.
Maybe he doesn't want you showing the debug menu off.
He's revoked it. Can you have a chest spawn based on certain triggering criteria?
I don't think so. Because I don't think we've needed that for any of the campaign levels. Off the top of my head, I'd have to say no.
Yeah, that would involve some form of... yeah, you would need like an event, almost.
Can you plug in PC abilities into cards to create a scenario with alternative mercenary groups? As in, can you give the abilities that players do to monsters? Yes and no. It just depends if that type of ability has been written, that the backend code for it has been written so that AI can make use of it, which, to be honest, like quite a few of them, they can't, just because we didn't need them to do that, and so we didn't have the time to spare to do that. But there's quite a lot that you can.
Yeah, so you'd
really have to kind of be more specific, and I mean, if anyone has very specific questions, or like if you are making a mod, you feel free to ask in the official Discord in the modding channel, and myself or one of the other devs will probably answer you at some point.
I guess you could depending on obviously how difficult the ability is, you could reprogram it, right? Because I mean, it's all just functional stuff. So the Tinkerer's stun shot is just an attack 1, range 3 with stun.
Yeah, stuff like that. Easily, you can give that to a monster. It's more things like the more complicated stuff. Like, I mean, for example, you can give like the God, what are the spoiler names for the characters? We never use them internally. Lightning bolt. You can give that card that makes short rest do extra stuff to a monster because they don't short rest, you know.
So I
You
get
probably could give them stuff like remove conditions or like add an immunity, things like that. I think you could do.
you could. So I'm thinking, like, for example, if you wanted to make an evil Cragheart character, it would be kind of possible to add in like an enemy card that was like Rumbling Advance, move,
Sure.
do damage to things, because that stuff kind of exists, right? And you could also probably recreate Massive Boulder in the same way of doing an attack and doing some splash damage. But
I mean, there's an attack and splash damage on the Bone Rangers already. So
sure.
yeah, you can do stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. You can't use the player character models for enemies. I explained at the beginning. The character models versus the enemy/summon models are separate at the moment, just because the characters require extra components on their models. And like, I think it's something that could be fixed and changed, but we don't have time to do it. But you can use summons as enemies, and you can use enemies as summons. And there are a few like things that you can adjust. Like you can tint the color of a character, for example, or a monster to different. You know, like if you wanted a special like bloody corpse instead of living corpse, you could take the living corpse character and make it red. You know, so it at least looks a little bit different when they're next to each other.
I guess, well, I mean, there's a couple of characters that already have summon models of them. So, like you said, the decoy, the Tinkerer,
Yes,
you've got
decoy, Spellweaver,
and you've got
triangles.
Doppelganger, yeah.
Yeah.
So
you could use those, but obviously they don't exist for like every character.
In Oxy's Pac-Man mod, can he use nail spheres as a power pellet?
I don't think you're gonna make a whole Pac-Man mod, but you can try.
Right, so I need to just go in now and we need to debug it.
Yeah, so we use the debug menu to give ourselves a bunch of XP. Oh no, again.
Okay, right. How do I get into the debug menu?
F1.
Oh yeah, I've used this before.
And if you type in like 1,000 in the selected characters gain XP, and then click set.
Oh, it's like you got to select them first, right, or something?
No, it's just the ones in the party. Sorry, it's higher up. Selected characters gain XP.
Ah, right, okay. Boom, easy as that. Imagine playing this game for over 1,200 hours.
Imagine not having the dev tools. Crazy.
Okay.
Good job on leveling up.
Yeah, that was really difficult, that one. It was very hard. So I guess we want a couple of levels here, don't we? Because
I think there's potentially an argument to be made for us to like maybe allow the debug menu for like modders in some way, or at least like a limited version of the debug. Like being able to level up for testing would be nice.
Well, you have the kind of the new sandbox mode that seems to have appeared.
That is closed beta only as well. That's like a debug thing as well. that's been in the game for a very long time. It's just, yeah, it's a dev tool.
But I mean, for me personally, obviously, it is nice to have the ability to do something like that, because if I want to shoot a very specific piece of content, it is nice to have access to it, because also I can just load up a scenario as well, which is good.
I just think like the main issue is that like the debug menu is not like particularly safe. You know, like you can do things with it at certain times that could like cause errors and break your game, because it's purely a dev tool.
Right.
So it's not like it's not like had the same kind of QA or like time spent on it, and you know, I don't see the time being found from somewhere. So
I guess we'll just go all the way up to level 9. Well, maybe not. I can just change the cards here. It doesn't really matter, right? I just want to go to a scenario now. So we should now be at level 3, but because we're playing on +4, technically,
so you'll get your level 7 monsters, which are technically level 9 monsters. Because
okay,
yeah.
Let's try it out. Hey, Wisdom Chicken, can you ask a quick question that you're stuck on right now while modding your own scenario? Is there currently a way to connect different rooms with overlay tiles instead of doors in the level editor?
No. If for like all of the custom room layouts that are used in the campaign, you'll see there's special rooms for them. So like it would be like AE, you know. It would have been nice to make it so that you could just connect up the rooms, but that was just the quickest way we could do it, so it happened to end up being that way. But you could set like a door to be open by you know, by default.
So yeah, it would functionally work, but you'd obviously still have the door model there, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby. There it is.
Hit hard. Right, so immunity to poison, innate attack supply, poison.
And
Nice.
This guy, attack, supplier, poison, and immobilize.
Right, so before you do anything, we can use the debug menu again and make sure they draw the card that we want them to draw. So we can see it. The one where if they die, they like explode.
Okay.
So if you hit F1 again and click select character,
And
bottom left, not quite bottom left, middle left.
Got it, I think.
And then select monster's next card, the drop down. It's above kill, near the bottom.
Okay. I guess this would have been helpful if we remembered what the... I guess I can look it up, right?
You made it like init 23, I think. It was, I think it's the init 23 one. It's like a move attack and then it damages itself.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Attack 2. Oh, it's the initiative as well, right? 23.
Yeah. Init 23, attack 2,
yeah.
attack -1, damage 1.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
if you click that, okay, and now you can close the debug menu. Although probably, so click on, you see on the bottom right, there's a, sorry, go back to the debug menu again.
Yep.
The bottom right, it's got HP and then set health. So if you put that 1, if you put 1 in the box, the HP box, and then click set health,
Okay, so now it's gonna...
Okay. And now you can close the debug menu and pick your cards as normal. And it should set that guy that you had selected their health. It won't show up until after this phase.
Okay.
But
whoa. So good. It works. Well, we have to see it happen. But hopefully. Oh, there he is.
probably not really going to do much though, because there's no one next to him.
Oh, okay.
He's just going to die.
Right. We restart the round and try that again then if we run up next to him.
Yeah, if you go early, run up next to him, it'll work.
Well, I'm guessing we'll have to do all of this again though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we want next card, this one, and we want set HP 1. Perfect. Okay. So then we'll just doesn't really matter.
You need to click set health after you change the HP in the box. You have to click set, otherwise it won't.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, let's try it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this as well. The move. This is just not nice. What were we thinking? That's actually what were we thinking?
I was staying out of it.
I'm gonna get double.
And it's still on you.
Okay. I'm just looking forward to the animation. Oh. Oh, we might want to take that push away.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it did... Oh, I see. So it does this, and then it'll die. Okay. Yeah, I guess because the animations are a little bit weird, but it works.
Yeah, it finishes off. Yeah, because the cultist has like a specific like on death animation set up. But yeah. Did you get? Yeah, you got some curses there.
Already dead. So we got our 2 curses. The immune to stun guy. We got our poison. Nice.
Yeah. So well done. You're a modder.
I'm a modder, guys. Done. Done. Easy. Let's try the other ones. We'll just pop over to the other scenario and
sure.
Have a look at those guys. Oops, why did I get an exit game? Rage quit. Actually just rage quitted.
I mean, I think I'd rage quit if that happened to me.
So that's...
I'm just gonna go grab a glass of water while you do that.
Yep. So this is pretty insane. It doesn't take us too long to do either, really. It really doesn't take us that long to do. We are the devs now. We are the devs now. We can do whatever we want. Finally, we're free. Finally. We can do whatever we want, chat.
You can do whatever you want.
I'm just thinking of that Captain Phillips meme. I'm the dev now.
That is true.
Okay, dev, when is the campaign coming out? Soon, TM. See? I can do it too. Resume.
But do you actually know when the campaign's coming out?
That I cannot divulge.
No, but you don't have to tell me when it's coming out, just that you know when it's coming out.
No. Don't know anything.
I know.
I hope you know.
Well, for a long time I didn't know, but I do now.
Right, let's go and have a look at our bandit friends, our bandit buddies. Oh, knowledge. Yes. 24 XP. 1024 XP now. When am I going to make Frosthaven Digital? I could probably knock that out in a couple of hours, I reckon. Probably before the campaign comes out. I think pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be fine.
Okay, so we want to... So these guys... We didn't add any special cards, did we? So really it's just
we only added an extra card to the living corpse. So these guys just have different stats.
Health 18, move 3, attack 5.
Innate pierce on that.
Innate pierce.
That's new.
Big yikes. These summon missions, though. Oh, I was going to ask you about the traps. You might not know anything about them, but I just noticed that all the traps have changed recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like something to do with the campaign, like the different styles of traps, rather than just
they're just biome specific. I think it was something that the art team wanted to do a long time ago, and they've only just got around to doing.
Oh, so they're not enemy specific, they're actually biome specific.
Yeah. Things like a bandit archer and stuff should just put down the normal trap that they used to, and if they're not, it's a bug. I believe we had a bug report about that.
Yeah, I did. I noticed it in one of my games. I thought it was a bit odd.
It might have been fixed already. I don't know. I was on holiday last week, so
not your department.
Probably is my department. I just need to catch up.
So is there a way for us also to increase things like trap levels and mess with those? Because that's like the next kind of progression, right? Is that I think if we're going to give enemies a little bit more health, we should probably still make traps good and still maybe increase the gold potentially.
Yeah, you can do all that. You can only values though. You can't say all the traps above level 7 should be stun traps. There's like a you know exactly how it is in the scenario book, the rule book. It's got like a table of like the level and the trap damage and gold. Yeah, there's just a file with that in, so you can adjust that value. But obviously you can have things like stun traps and stuff in the level editor, or you can you could change like the bandit archers cards so that they place a stun trap instead of just a normal trap. Because obviously we have things like the tinkerer can put down stun traps.
But those are specific traps. They're not like part of the random generation like in Guildmaster mode.
Yeah. In Guildmaster, it's so basically you have two different types of scenario. You have a scenario that is defined in YAML, which means that there is a element of random generation to it. That's pretty much all of the scenarios in Guildmaster, and obviously adventure mode before that. And then there are levels built in the level editor, which a couple Guildmaster scenarios use and all of the campaign uses. And you can get much more specific with the level editor. Like you can, you choose where the traps go and the obstacles, and like you can set up a trap so it has different conditions, or you can change a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot more you can do in the level editor, but obviously those things are specific to that level, whereas what we've done so far with the YAML modding is more like global. we've changed all of the bandit guards for the whole of Guildmaster.
Sure.
And likewise for campaign.
Sure. So I think what might be cool if you've got time is to have a look at how we could kind of create our own monster.
Yes.
If you think there's enough time to take a look at that. I mean, we don't have to we don't have to flesh it out into some, crazy start to finish thing, but just like the concept of how you would create it and how you would go about it, like the process.
Sure. Yeah, let's just go do that quick then.
Cool. Right. So I guess
I will find the list of models that you can use, and I will. Well, you can probably suggest any particular ones that you wanted, because you can use some models that you can
I think we want an evil falcon. I think that's
an evil falcon.
I think that's what chat wants, right? Chat, that's what we want. We want an evil falcon. And there is no falcon enemy, so we can definitely change
there's
that.
The Jade Falcon, and there's also the Warhawk.
Ooh. It's got to be the
There's also the Red Falcon too.
The Red Falcon? Where's that from?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Red must be some character's card, right?
Who's got a Red Falcon? Well, I guess the Red Falcon, because I can't remember who has it.
But we can also remember we can tint them as well if we want to. We can tint the color.
Could we tint them black? Is that possible?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay. Red Falcon.
But it'll be like a black tint over the Red Falcon, for example.
Yeah, so I think black and red works quite well.
Okay.
Together. There's two colors, right?
Uh-huh.
Red Falcon is Beast Tyrants, apparently. I did not know that.
Right. So if we go to our modded files again.
Okay.
You might want to exit out of the scenario and stuff on Gloomhaven. I don't know if you did that.
I'm just on the main menu now, yeah.
Okay. So let's go up a folder and find the YAMLs defining the actual base stats of monsters. So let's just copy one of those.
Just one of these.
Yeah, and then so just duplicate one for now.
Sure. Okay.
And then rename it to what you want to call your guy.
Evil Falcon. Gotta be. Or the Nightmare Falcon. Nightmare Falcon sounds better. Okay.
Sure. And now open it up. Okay. So first of all, we need to give it a new ID. Mm-hmm. So let's call it Nightmare Falcon ID.
Nice.
Change the loc key. We're going to have to add
a key for this.
A key for that in a bit.
So I guess we'll just call it Nightmare Falcon and we'll just have to change that.
Yeah.
I think it's Night Falcon or whatever. Nightmare Falcon. Let's leave it like that.
Probably just leave the standing limit 16 because that's what it is for all of Guildmaster. It's different for campaign, obviously, but let's leave it at that for now. And for the model, what you want is Red Space Falcon.
Nice.
Okay. Is it going to be predominantly melee?
Yes, I think so.
So true instead of false. Right. So we'll come back to the ability cards, I guess. For now, let's do its stats. You go ahead. Go to town.
Oh God, right. Well, What's everyone saying? 10 move, 4 attack, stun, poison, wound. Nah, not that much. I think they're like a swarming enemy, I think. They're not going to have that much health.
Like a vermling.
Yeah, but they're going to move.
Okay.
They're going to move a lot. Can you give them flying? How would we give them flying?
Flying, true.
It's just a... Nice. So I'm thinking like 3 health. Move like 4. They have flying though, so maybe they don't need so much move. So maybe we just put them like move 3. Attack 2. Range would be 1, right?
Yeah, if you want them melee, yeah.
Sure. Okay. Target 1. That's fine. Like for a little guy, that's fine. I think.
Any conditions, any immunities?
Well, I guess you make them immune to immobilize because I mean they're falcons, right? I mean you can't cage a falcon. It doesn't seem like that they could be. I mean, how are we going to shoot them in the foot?
Yeah, no, makes sense to me.
Okay, so immobilize. It's got to be a capital I, right? That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so that looks pretty good. I like that as like just for the base
That's
stats.
also misspelled, by the way.
Is
that's
it?
Imbolize.
Oh. Yeah. Sure. It looked right to me. Okay. So...
I also think you've got an extra L.
Have I?
Yeah,
oh yeah, I have. It's been a long day.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Eyes. That doesn't look right now.
It's 2 M's. It's 2 M's.
Yeah. I've literally spelt it 4 or 5 times already today. Why can't I do it now? Okay, there we go. Right. We got it. We got it.
You are missing square brackets on the end, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Right, nice. So flying, immunities, we'll give them all of these. You just got to immobilize. We could give them immobilize as a condition, sure. We could definitely make that something that they get better at. I guess we need to tap that in. Yeah, just tap that in. Okay. Pierce. Pierce is actually quite a good thing to add to these kind of guys.
Yeah.
So I don't...
You could make them just pierce all instead of an actual value of pierce. That might be quite fun. I'm not sure if there's like a monster that does that, right? It's just the piercing bow.
Is there an enemy that ignores all shields?
I don't think so.
No, they're all just values.
So you could do that, and that's like a new thing. You know, they're just piercing bow falcons.
I like that. Okay. We'll do that for like the top level. Do you also have to have an elite version of every monster, or?
I am not entirely sure what the game will say if you don't include an elite version. I think you can not have one, but I think we probably should have one.
Sure. I think I might take some of these values down. Actually, no, I don't know. I like that.
Model for the elite one, can't we? Like, we could use the Warhawk model for the elite and tint it black as well.
Yeah, that would be cool. Have them regurgitate. No.
Well, I don't even think they have an animation for that models. So you could have them like summon, you know.
Well, my idea for an enemy would be like the falconer, if you like. So we could create an enemy that can summon these, and it's like a boss.
Sure. Okay.
Like
Right.
that could be quite a cool. I mean, not do that today. Too much to do, but I like that could be quite cool to do like a boss scenario where you just have to go against the falconer, and he summons falcons.
That's like somewhat similar to the overseer, right?
Yeah, that was the same kind of vibe. Yeah.
So like, I mean, if you want to carry on working on this, and I'm, not available, you can just go have a look at the merciless overseer and see how he does his things.
Yeah,
and do that.
I think it literally kind of copy a lot of his abilities over, and then do maybe like tint it or something like the model a little bit to make it a bit different.
Yeah, or you could use a different model. You don't have to use that.
It's got quite a good model for that kind of thing though, with the whip and everything. I guess it's quite a good model for like a Beastmaster. Right.
Right. Well, I'm just going to go to the lead quick, but I feel like you have this under control.
I think I've got it so far.
Okay, I'll be right back.
This is cool. Okay. Right. Is there anything else we want to give them, chat? Is there anything else you think? I mean, PS All is pretty insane. Is there anything that we think that they should have? I mean, I don't think we'll do the elite. I just want to try and get a new enemy up and running, right? Well, we'll have to look at the ability cards too, so that's going to take some time. We'll have to make sure that we actually have some... I'm trying to think of what ability cards would be good to copy. It would be good to just copy something with like a general move and attack deck. I mean, it's pretty reliable, just move and attack. Or we could bring the attacker values down a bit more. I'll tell you what we could do as well. We could have, when Myth comes back, I think it would be cool to give, maybe we have disadvantage when attacking them because they're like hard to hit, right? Like thematically, a bird is quite hard to hit. So so maybe we should have like permanent disadvantage when we attack them. You're looking at giant eagle D&D monster for inspiration. That's actually a really good idea to have a look at some other monsters from other games and see what kinds of things that they do. Oh, also, I tell you what would be cool. We should ask them if they can generate if there's any way that we can add an element to it. I guess it would have to be to the card. Hello.
What's going on?
So, 2 questions. First one, is it possible to give like permanent disadvantage when attacking? Which is, I think we did.
When attacking.
So when we attack the Falcon, we want to always have disadvantage.
Right.
Like kind of like the Night Demons, right?
The Night Demon, yes. It would be attackers gain disadvantage, I think. Sorry, let me look. I have it right here.
Just then that they're like just annoying. You just can't kill them.
Attackers gain disadvantage.
Attackers.
And then true. And it's a capital letter for each word in that. Man, I'm starving. How do you do this streaming thing?
Just going so long without eating or drinking. Yeah. Well, this is nice because I don't have the cam, so I could be like having a feast back here. No one knows today. Thank you for the follow, Geekily.
You can hear me munching now.
Welcome to the quest. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We are just messing around with mods today, learning how to mod with Myth, who's been really helpful in teaching us how to mod. So I think I want to give this to like the top 2 tiers. Actually, let's give it to all of them. Screw it. Let's make really... I mean, it's got to be good, right? Falcon's got to be good. Yeah. Let's give it to all of them. And then... yeah, in terms of like designing the cards, how do you think would be a good approach to doing that? Would it be... I mean, I guess these are all IDs, right? So we're kind of going to have to create our own IDs, but we...
Yeah. I mean, if you make the IDs of the cards like 2001 and 2002 or something, they should be well out of the range of existing ones. So you should be fine.
So thinking it might be a good idea to copy an enemy that kind of has like a similar style of attacks, and then we can just kind of modify them to what we want. So some kind of enemy that has just multiple melee attacks, really. Just lots of like little attacks.
Yeah.
Wait, why does each level have a range value? These are like their base stats, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I forgot to change this. Nope, he's right. That's because we probably should have modified a melee enemy rather than a ranged enemy for the purposes of this, because we've had to change a few more stats. Good catch, Flucus. Right, nice. Okay, so now that's all kind of sorted. So they're fairly easy to kill, but yeah, so let's save them up. Okay.
Right. If we wanted to tint them a different color, we'd have to do that here as well.
Okay.
So, sorry, let me just find it. How you do it. So, color. We have that in the modding documentation too, right?
Okay.
So the color is just a hexadecimal value, I believe. So if you go to like the color picker on Google.
Oh, okay, I got you. So we just want like a hex color.
Yeah. So if you just do color picker on Google's got its own one, and you can just copy the hex value.
So we just want black. This one. As black as it goes, sure.
And then just copy the hex value.
Yep.
And then you can put, so you would do color
in the top here.
Yeah, so go to the file. So yeah, under model, do color. And it looks like it's the proper English spelling.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah. And I think you need to get rid of the hashtag. You can't have a hashtag. So you just need 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Nice. And so that will just...
That'll tint it black.
Tint the whole model black. Nice.
All right, can we ban this guy? Are we allowed to do that?
I don't know if there's any mods in chat. I don't mod my own channel, you know. Okay, so now I guess we need to go to the ability cards. So let's find some enemies that would be pretty easy to copy. To be honest, I guess hounds would be pretty good, right? They're just generally move and attack.
Yeah. No, Phantom, we don't need a hashtag because hashtag is a comment in YAML, so it won't work.
Why can't I see them? Why have I gone past them? Oh, there they are. There they are. So I guess what we want to do is we want to copy these, put them into our cards folder. But also, do we want to rename these now to the numbers that we're going to use? Is that,
yes. Yeah.
otherwise, they're gonna.
You don't have to change the name of the file. The name of the file isn't used like
Oh, okay.
by the game. It's just for your own, organization.
Sure. But if I was to, oh, not this again. Go away. Go away. Ugh. Okay. So if I was to, as long as we change this ID number here at the top of the enemy card, we're okay. Basically. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just make this.
I would change the name of the file to match too.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that in a sec. So we'll just do 901. That should be safe, right?
I think I'd maybe go a bit higher just to be sure.
Oh.
Go like 2001 or something.
Okay. 2001. Right, actually, what I'll do is I'll open all of these so that we've got all of them. So then we can do them all at once.
Maybe close all the old ones that we don't need as well.
Yeah. So make sure we save that. We'll keep the Falcon there just in case. Okay, right. So, move -1, attack 1 with an attack 0, conditions immobilize. I think we could probably.
Are we immobilizing already? Base stats?
No, we've got immune. We're immune to immobilize.
Sure. Yeah.
And we've already got disadvantage, so it doesn't really make sense to add like muddle or anything like that.
Yeah.
I guess we could add wound.
You could add wounds and poisons.
Let's add wound.
Stun.
Stun on 6 initiative.
Yeah, that would be real fun.
That sounds fun. Everybody immediately stunned. If you have a hawk in D&D familiar, you sometimes want it to use the help action, which gives you advantage. Basically, it's pestering the enemy. So strengthen adjacent allies would be a cool card. That's a good idea. We could add that to one of these cards. I like just changing this because this is a very like basic one, right? It's a small move, small attack, but adds wound, which is just annoying. And because it's on 6 initiative, that pretty much guarantees that wound is going to tick down a point of damage on you. It's going to be difficult for the players to stop themselves from taking a point of damage. So this actually is pretty damn good. In fact, it's so good, I'm thinking I might just make that like -1. Because what's the base attack? The base attack value at 3 is still 2. So we attack 1 with wound. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Nice. Easy. Next one. 2002. Oh, so this is the move and muddle. So maybe this is the one we can change to the strengthen. Okay, that's a good idea. The Falcon should add curses because poor Falcon. We can add curses. So how would we go about doing this strengthen, do you think? So that would be kind of similar to
So you want to strengthen
it would be
nearby adjacent allies.
Yeah, I guess it would be similar to the imps. The imps do that, don't they? I think.
Well, this is what we've got here is fine because this muddle is a muddle all adjacent enemies. So change the name of it to strengthen 1 because that makes sense.
Strengthen 1.
Okay.
And I guess change
it to the strengthen true, not muddle true. That'll change the ability type. Okay. So target -1 means it will target everything in range, and target is base means it will use the target defined on the card and not use the base stats.
So the base
Similar with
one.
range 1 and range is base, so we're saying all adjacent. The filter, just change that to ally instead of enemy.
I guess animation overload here is.
Yeah, I would maybe just change it to something generic like power up. That will probably work. Or you can just get rid of the anim overloads entirely, and generally speaking, the game will try and pick like an anim that makes sense, which would probably be power up anyway.
Okay, so the power up one is like just the
That's like a generic. It uses that if you like do a buff.
Sure.
Most characters have it. I'm not entirely sure that the Falcon model will have it though, because I'm not even sure if they need it. I'll load up the actual projects and have a look. It might take me a bit.
Yeah, that's okay. So
we can come back to that.
Yeah, if there was no animation there for it, it would just pick anything anyway. Like it's.
Yeah, or it just won't play an animation, but logically it will happen. Like the game logic will happen regardless of an animation or not. There just might be like an awkward pause.
Sure. And I guess this target, this text.
Target all adjacent enemies. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh wait, all adjacent allies is probably what we want.
Nice. What would be a thematic late card for them? Roosting or healing? Yeah, I think that would work really well. There's a late initiative, just them doing like a heal self, maybe. And like a shield. I guess this is like their do nothing.
A fun
right?
idea. So this is gonna be mild spoilers for a campaign scenario. There's a campaign scenario where you go into the scenario and there's a bunch of drakes that are asleep. And what it means by asleep is that they won't act until they're woken up. They can be woken up by someone attacking them, or I think someone ending a turn next to them. But that is coded in the game as a condition. So you can use that condition if you want. You could have a character put itself to sleep.
Oh, right. And then it would then just follow the rules of that.
Of sleep, yeah.
Interesting. That could be a really cool thing to put as their late one. But then what would happen on the following turn then? They would just still be
asleep, yeah.
Asleep until
something woke them up.
Interesting. And there's no way. Do they still draw cards, technically?
They draw cards, yeah. They just don't act.
And there's no way for you to then like have sleep be removed on
a subsequent turn.
I'm just thinking like you could have a card that has sleep on it, but then put wake up on one of the other cards, so they may be asleep for a couple of turns, and then they draw their card that has the wake up effect on it, and then they.
Probably the way to do it would be to give them a start turn active bonus that like. Yeah, I'm not even sure that would work, to be honest. Yeah, okay. I don't think there's a way of they themselves waking up. I mean, yeah, we haven't. This is just an extra thing that I added because we needed it for the campaign, and I thought, oh, modders might be able to use that. I'll code it as a condition. So
no, that's good. No. I think that's cool. No, you can definitely potentially have some kind of really high health enemy or something that like a dragon or something.
Yeah, like someone's just said in the chat, you could have them just heal 10 and go to sleep. Or something, like it's a full heal, but they're now out of action until someone wakes them up.
Yeah, and which means you're just gonna have to attack them again. Oh, I like that. There's definitely some scope for that to be used in a fun way with an enemy, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll go to 2003. So this is a 19 initiative. I think the Hound initiative is pretty good for these guys. They're going to be quick because they're birds, right? They're fast.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to worry too much about changing their initiatives around. This is move 1, move, then attack, and that's it. And that's just using their base values, right? And then there's a conditional override here. I'm not sure what that is. Does that strengthen? Oh, that's if they're adjacent to other allies, is it? They get an
that's the Hound one where they do more damage if they're adjacent to allies. Yeah.
I mean, that also kind of makes a lot of sense for the birds, right? They kind of flock around.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's a bit too strong, though, considering some of the other things we've given them. Maybe give them like...
Yeah, and you can actually change that filter. So you see it's target adjacent allies is greater than 0.
Mm-hmm.
So you could change it to be greater than 1. So it's like they have to be adjacent to 2 of their allies. So they're like really flocking,
Yeah, okay. I like that. And then put like... so maybe keep the strength the same. Because it's quite hard for it to come off. With clever positioning by the players, it's unlikely to happen unless you're really getting surrounded on all sides.
So you see there's the text variable there. That's a reference to the localization sheet again. So we'd need to add something, a spreadsheet value for that, so that we can properly show on the card like what this is supposed to do.
Okay, so we can change all of this, but at the moment it would still display the same text as the original.
Yeah, it will display the same text. Generally, like before, like with the living corpse card that we changed, you saw it just kind of updated everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the cards will try and figure out what it's supposed to show, but it can't do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just needs specific text to say what it does.
Okay.
And then you have to reference like a loc sheet.
So really, I guess preemptively, if we change that to 2003, and we know that we need to make a line in that document, 2003, just to say what it does.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess if there's nothing there, it'll just display nothing when we go to do it.
Yeah, or it might like error, not sure entirely, to be honest.
That'll do now. That'll do for now for the purposes of today, I guess. That's cool. All right, so another early initiative. The other 19. Oh, it's the same, right? Oh, is this the shuffle? Right, these are the shuffles. So you can...
so you can change which ones shuffle if you want.
I think that's okay for a shuffle.
I think if we change this card and then maybe have a look in game because it's getting a bit late.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we can always finish this another time.
Sure. Okay. All right. So this was 2004. Okay, good. So now I guess what we need to do is we need to go back here and change these numbers to be 1. I'm getting it. I'm learning.
Yeah.
3 and 2004. And then I guess we just leave the others for filler for now. We don't. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah. It's fine.
Sure. Cool. All right. So save. Right. So how do we fire? Do we get ourselves a red falcon in game then?
So go back to the game. Modding.
Oh yeah.
And go to your mod. So manage mods. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
cool.
on. Yep. Edit.
Didn't there used to be a validate button?
I did. Maybe it's because we haven't.
Interesting. Forget it. That's weird.
We need to revalidate.
Maybe it's fine.
So we might be.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the validate button's not showing.
I haven't done something stupid and edited it in the wrong place, right?
No, you haven't. You can't just like click on it and
Click on the edit. It's
very weird. Yeah, maybe try and restart the game.
yeah. Okay, let's just reboot it. If in doubt, turn it off and on again, right?
I mean, yeah, these systems could, still be like have issues because it's not been tested a huge amount. So
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's not. You guys are working hard on getting the campaign and everything done, so it's understandable that modding is not fully supported, I
yeah,
guess, or
it's
finished or
not the
polished.
top priority.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, just having any modding of any type, I think, is great. And having something like this, which is actually fairly easy to use, is really good. Now my game's crashed, so maybe that's a good sign. That's a good sign, right?
Yeah.
It means there's clearly something wrong. Hyped to see this. This should be fun. I'm looking forward to. I don't even really remember this model. I don't think I've ever played the summon.
You only made the normal version of the monster, right? Not the elite.
Yes, just the regular.
Yeah, so we didn't actually add it to any levels,
Right.
but I think you should be able to use the debug menu to just stamp it down if you're on the closed beta. Try going into the modding menu here. And let's see if the validate buttons come back.
Fingers crossed. Oh. Nope.
It's not there. Okay. Maybe try upload it to Steam. Because maybe it forces a validate when it uploads.
Uploaded and completed successfully. There you go, guys. You can all play with the Falcon right now.
Okay, let's go back and let's just go try compile the rule set and see how it goes. Maybe it only has you validate it the first time. So yeah, compile.
Like it hasn't worked out that there's been a change in the file or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I guess it's validated it there, maybe?
Yeah, successfully validated. So I guess let's hit play.
Let's give it a go. Oh, zoom. Oh man, this is going to be cool. All right, so we go to debug.
Yeah.
Spawn
So
monster.
F1, spawn monster and look for your nightmare falcon. If you click the drop down.
It's here.
There it is.
Right. What? And then just hit spawn.
And then hit spawn on the right. And then click on a tile.
Where do we want it? Somewhere where we can look at its majesty. No.
What? Is it broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder why. Right, if you don't send an error report.
I couldn't help myself. That's going to go into your like float plane now or something.
It'll be on Trello somewhere. And some QA guy tomorrow is going to be like, what is this? And I'll have to explain. Okay. Yeah, okay, it's a bit bugged now. Let's just exit.
Okay.
And let's look at the files.
Okay.
So the only thing I can think of is that we put like a loc key for the Falcon.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't actually add that.
Okay.
So maybe just for now, just change that to like a loc key that we know exists. Because all that'll do is change the text when you hover over the guy, right? Like we can deal with that later.
Sure. So, if I just
let's change that and see what that does.
Okay. Hit save.
And let's try again.
Here we go.
Oh, maybe let me see if I can find that Trello. Because I'll be able to look at the log files.
See, it was useful after all, maybe.
Trello's trying to walk me through how to use Trello. Thank you, I'm good.
Is it like the paperclip guy? I see you're trying
not
to.
Quite that bad.
I see you're trying to fix a bug report.
Steam username, mandatory quest, user message, Myth gave you bad advice. Have a look. You carry on and see if you can...
Right. Round 2. This is the one. Did I leave some hound animations in the Falcon? In that the Falcon does not have?
That would be fine. It wouldn't error like that.
Okay. Nightmare
Unable
Falcon.
to find character with prefab name Red Falcon. Interesting. It's definitely a Red Falcon model. Try it again.
No. Same thing. So we think it's the actual Falcon model. So if we were to just change that to a different, like the Jade Falcon or something?
Yeah, so it's meant to, it's a card, right? It's hang on, maybe it's because we put a space and we shouldn't have put a space. I bet that's it. Yeah, that's it.
All one word, Red Falcon.
Yeah.
We'll rise again. So I guess I should compile again just to be sure. Third time's the charm.
Yeah, that looks like it to me.
So is that true for pretty much all of the models then? They're all just one word? Like capitalized, I guess. Or...
Now that I'm looking, no, most of them do have spaces, and then there's just a few that don't. So I'm going to have to like get someone to look into that, because that's annoyingly inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. Yes!
Did it work?
Yes!
Is it tinted?
I mean, it looks kind of tinted, but I don't really know what kind of level of tint we should be expecting. I mean, it's red.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't look. It doesn't look black to me, really. Is it maybe the opacity on the tint? You know, maybe you had it like full alpha.
Oh, I see what you mean on the immunity. I love the profile picture for this is actually perfect.
Yeah.
For this enemy, actually perfect.
So you see, it says it calls it a bandit guard because we've not put anything in the like sheet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, there's your own new monster.
We've got it.
There's more we can do. Like we can make sure it actually says what its name is, and give it more cards, and like make an elite version.
I want to I'm going to try and harvest that picture for an emote.
Get Craig to send it to you.
I want
like actual file.
I want that, please.
I think some Misha who's on the dev team has that as their profile picture on Slack. So
it's kind of perfect. So I feel like we need to make them draw their special card though, right? So let's get them to draw one of their cards. So let's select the Falcon. And let's
you could just hit kill all and then like spawn back a Falcon, and then you'll just have the Falcon and you won't have to worry about the other guys picking cards. Just for testing.
Just for testing. Not for cheating, by the way, chat. No.
Yeah.
Right, let's get we can spawn a couple of these, right? We can get a couple.
Yeah.
Let's go. Falcons.
You should be able to spawn 16 of them.
Alright. That seems like a good amount. This scoundrel's just going to get screwed. Okay. So, select character, Red Falcon. Next card. Ooh, okay. Which was the... This was the one. The Initiative 19. This is the big boy attack.
Yeah.
So the text is probably... The wording on the card's probably going to be wrong, but we know that.
Yes. But we know that.
So I don't need to set anything, do I? That's all.
No, that's fine.
I can just run it. So let's go after after 19 on both these characters, and let's see.
Yeah, they are level 0, these guys, because you've spawned them in at level 0. But that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. We just want to see if they get the extra attack. So we know they're at attack 0. Sorry, attack 2 is their base value.
Yeah.
Ah, here you go. So this was, why we would need to go and do that lookup. Because they don't have this. Interesting that it shows like the old style of card there.
It looks to me like the actual card art has a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that might be something we need to look into. With adding monsters.
Okay, but importantly, what's happening here is they're moving 3, they're attacking 2, and then if there is more than one adjacent enemy, they're getting an additional buff of 2.
Yes.
Right. That's what we're looking for.
So potentially so they're all gonna attack your scoundrel here, right?
Yeah.
They should all be able to get in range too.
So 1.
Cool.
Oh no, that one can't. We messed it up. So it's down to you. Boom! There we go. There it is. Oof.
Nice.
Well, it's always
yes, it works.
It's always the 4th one that gets you. It's the 4th one that gets you. That's amazing. Right, now I want to see... Kill him. See if the disadvantage works. It does. Not dropping loot though, but is that because they're spawned? or something.
Yeah, that'll be again something we need to fix. Some models probably don't have the correct component on them. Yeah, I should really write these notes down.
Cool. So really, I'm just going to do nothing here. I want to see them do another turn. So let's get them to. We won. Oh, because we killed all of the cards. We won.
Yeah.
Whoops. Is that possible? Actually, is possible. Okay. Restart round on the win screen. Let's get him in. And let's just see. I want to see the level 1 card that we put in. So I only need one guy for this. Select you, and we will do the... This is the one with wound.
Yeah.
Should be with wound. Oh. Do you think this is something to do with the... Is this something to do that I'm like referencing the... like the bandit guard or something, but it's the hound that we're using or something?
No, I just think that like there's not card art that is attached to this model. And so it's using some like default one. And that's probably just something we need to look into. You know, up until now, people haven't actually really added new monsters to the game. So.
Oh, perfect. Even the scoundrel can't escape. Lives to fight again. Perfect. We did it. Good job, us. Good job, everybody. Well done. Nice. Well, there you go. We've done like a lot today.
Yeah.
We've like learned a lot about creating new, well, just creating the new difficulty levels if we want to try and do that. We've also got new monsters that we could possibly do. I mean, functionally, it's working, right? I mean, it's not perfect, but it's working.
Yeah, I think I mean the difficulty stuff was all great. I think creating new monsters using summon models, clearly, you know, there's some things that we need to fix up on our end. I don't know when that will happen. I've written a few notes, so I'll pass those along. And hopefully someone will get time to look into those. But yeah, I mean, functionally, like gameplay wise, it works, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's,
you know, I don't think it's, you know, any worse than like having custom monsters in like tabletop simulator, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like people, you know, proxy cards and different ways for tabletop, right? No, it's probably very rare that people were printing out their, you know, their brand spanking perfect pristine version. So I think as long as functionally it works, at least for now, then, you know, people can happily work on it and create something. And then, you know, if it does get fixed later on down the line, obviously it'll just be good. You can just add that in. In terms of like compatibility for different things, because obviously one thing that previously made modding a little bit hard is that you guys were working a lot on the base game, so things were kind of shifting around. In terms of thinking forwardly now, you know, if we were to make a mod today, what are the chances that it's going to break, you know, or seriously break, I guess, to the point where it's going to have to be?
I would say it's very unlikely at this stage. You know, we're not, you know, the game is meant to be out this year. So at this point, we're full bug fixing mode. You know, we're not adding new stuff. So, you know, I would hope by now that there won't be any huge changes to like the YAML parsing, and I really don't think there will be.
Hmm.
We're mostly just fixing bugs with like the actual rule base, like how it interprets the data and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think yeah, if you wanted to get into modding, certainly like once the game is released, it's going to be a great time. But I'd say now's a good time as well. Like I think you'd be pretty safe.
Yeah, yeah. I've spammed the link that we were using tonight for the Gloomhaven modding like references guide that's in there.
Documentation.
Documentation. That's the
It's
one.
more documentation than anything. It's not like it's not going to step by step tell you how to do stuff. I mean, I think there's a few little examples of things in there that they've added
Yeah, this sort
for
of
some
stuff
basic stuff.
looks.
But it's not finished yet. There's definitely things missing. Um, Someone's still working on all that, and there's a lot to cover. So, but yeah, that should get you started.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, so much for coming on and sharing your expertise
No
and
worries.
teaching us and showing us how it's done. Because these kinds of things, they feel quite daunting, especially if you have little experience with this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So just getting a bit of an understanding of how it kind of works to then feel comfortable to just give it a go. Because I know that most of the time, like I've dabbled a little bit in it before, and immediately I was just the mods wouldn't work because I've missed something out, or there's just something there. But actually, it's all fairly straightforward, and
yeah,
it isn't difficult for people to, like, for example, I know that one of the more popular things is that people like to reset, like, for example, the stamina potion nerf. You reset it back to 2 and
yeah. I
3.
mean that's just one number.
You're right. Yeah.
You just open up the file for that item and change it from 2 to 1. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that. Like yeah, there's definitely like kind of room for a big kind of rebalance mod, I think. I think we all know that Gloomhaven isn't perfectly balanced at this stage. Um, we as devs would probably love to like, change a few things if we could. But that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make the game. But you guys like you can go through and tweak things and make monsters that are a joke harder and monsters that are too hard like not so bad, and make items less strong or make you know some of the useless items better.
Hmm.
There's a lot that you could do, just like not even kind of adding new stuff, but just tweaking things.
Well,
Yeah,
I think there's definitely depending on how many people were interested, I think a total rebalance kind of mod, if enough people were interested in being involved in the project, that we could kind of divvy up the tasks a little bit to say, hey, you work on some item rebalancing, someone maybe work on a character, someone maybe work on a couple of groups of monsters or something, then I think that could be a really fun, community project to have.
yeah,
Because it is a lot of work for one person to do. You'd have to be really passionate about it, because there's a lot of just value changes in many places, and the trial and error. But having a team of people to kind of help with that, multiple people to just take little bits off or
yeah,
test would be really
yeah.
good.
I'd love to see it. It'd
Mm.
be great. Yeah.
Oof.
We obviously the tools that we've made available are, not the most like mature tools. They've not had like crazy amounts of development time to make them nice and do have loads of great features, but we have taken time in the development to make these things available, and it would just be really great to see people use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
And it's been really, really useful. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'll let you get some sleep.
Yeah. 9 a.m. I'm back to working on the game.
Yep.
So, okay.
No,
I'll
really.
catch you later, man.
Yeah. Thanks, man. See you later.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. Well, there we have it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you found the information useful. If you've got this far, hopefully you did. And it's a really good idea, I think, the modding tools that we have. It's a really interesting avenue for people to be able to explore, to create that custom content. It's one of those things that you get in board games, right? The ability to just cut and paste something and create your own thing and just immediately see it work. So it's nice that we've still got that spirit of the board game coming across here to digital. And hopefully some people who have already created their own custom content for physical might consider trying to implement it in digital, because I think there's a lot of potential here and a lot of people who would be interested in trying out that content. If you did enjoy the video, please do consider tossing it a like. It helps me out so much, and consider subscribing here on YouTube. I've got lots of Gloomhaven videos, more to come, lots of Frosthaven videos to come. So yeah, just plenty of videos. Also, again, a huge thank you to Myth for agreeing to do this stream. It was very, very kind of him, and we got a lot of information out of it and a lot of good stuff, sort of good questions answered, and got a great understanding in the stream. So thank you again, Myth. I do really appreciate it. Okay then, all that's left for me to say is I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
I think still, yeah.
That's the blessing from Cowhead. That's the blessing from.
Isaac, at this point, can we get your approval to add an additional attack modifier deck for allies in the digital version?